Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Ballerina, one of the John Wick series films. It's a spin-off. So let's roll that intro and get right into it. So Ballerina has a pretty strong opening and you're left a little bit confused as to what's happening or why these certain events are happening, but it's soon explained as the film goes on and it becomes sort of a revenge film of our protagonist. Now our protagonist, I liked her struggle and her training montages and showing how she becomes who she is and also her motivation. The only thing that felt I was lacking from her character and her performance was a bit more emotion. I wanted to almost see a lot more emotion from her character, even if it was set before, and then she becomes like this stone cold, like killer that doesn't show much emotion. And you see it a little bit when she's a kid, but when she's an adult character and she has friends in this certain area that they're staying and her friend leaves and it's meant to be a somewhat emotional moment, I felt it was slightly lacking. But the world building and all these different events and things that are happening in the world of John Wick, I love all these different things that they have in place, these like underground society and how it all works. It's so engaging and it's so intriguing, and they do a fantastic job of really piquing my interest in this world, and it makes me want to go back and rewatch the John Wick films. There were also some really good returning characters as well, like Winston and the other guy who run the Continental. It was really nice to see them again, and I really liked how fleshed out Winston's character was. They add a lot more humanizing to his character and who he is and how he's helping this person. You could argue that it's still somewhat morally wrong that he was almost pulling somebody into this world, this underworld, but maybe worrying that they wouldn't have a future continuing as they are, but could see the potential in them. And I thought that was really interesting, how he almost becomes almost like a parental character. Having quite a few characters from the John Wick universe return really helps this film feel like a prequel and that it's part of the universe and not just a spin-off where they couldn't afford a lot of the characters and extras and different things like that. They really make it feel like this is part of the world, you are back straight in it again, and that is a huge credit to the film. In this film there are a few moments that feel a little bit far-fetched, but it didn't stop my enjoyment of the film. Now the film has really good pacing. There is just action scene, action scene, action scene. It is fantastic, and I love how imperfect some of the action scenes are. You see our character, our protagonist, on the first mission, and they're not perfect. They make mistakes, they're slipping up, they're getting in fights, not everything is going as well, and I liked the realism within that aspect. That was really enjoyable and interesting to watch. I like that John Wick's character has certain cameos in the film, and he doesn't outstay his welcome either. It doesn't overshadow our character and it doesn't become too much where it's distracting. I've also got to mention that it is fantastic to have Norman Reedus and Keanu Reeves in the same film together. These are like my favourite actors. Norman Reedus, obviously from The Walking Dead, I love his character and that show means a hell of a lot to me. Keanu Reeves was a huge influence for me growing up, and just seeing those two together is just chef's kiss, fantastic. Now near the end of this film, without spoiling too much, there is something that reminds me of Resident Evil 4, one of my favourite video games ever. And I can't explain how, but when you watch the film, you will understand. And it's so intense, and around every corner you feel there could be a threat or danger, and it's so intriguing, and it creates, again, more world building in this world of John Wick and these underground societies, and adding new things to it. And that's something that it does really well. It adds more to this idea and these different factions and different almost underground societies that are working within this world. One negative would be that the ending of the film, this final fight or these different sequences, seems to go on a little bit long and almost seems a bit too far-fetched. There's certain scenes where our character could maybe very clearly be shot or attacked from a distance, or they're out in the open, and it doesn't seem that they're taking much care to take cover. So that felt a little bit negative and a little bit off-putting of the film. Also, Keanu Reeves' character does some things that seem a little bit confusing within the timeline of the other films as well, as to why he is doing certain things if his character's motivation should technically be different. It's hard to explain without spoilers, but those who have seen it may also have that same complaint. Overall, I think I would give the film a 6 out of 10. That's just above average. I think what would maybe boost the score a lot more is a lot more emotion and a lot more depth to these characters that are on screen, but maybe they'll explore that in future sequels. But again, the action was fantastic, really good choreography. There's a few scenes that aren't as clear and are not as good with the choreography, but a lot of the earlier ones are definitely really clear. You can see every hit, every move, and it's really enjoyable to watch. So I would highly recommend this film. If you have seen it, let me know what you think in the description. And if you do go and watch it, come back and let me know as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel and drop a like. It really helps out. Until next time.